Hey, it's Norm from Tested.com. I'm here at WonderCon at the Moebius booth. Now, you might not have heard of this company, but they make amazing kits, model kits, with licenses of Battlestar Galactica, classic TV shows, all sorts of stuff. Now, I'm joined by Frank Winsper. You are the president, owner, man of all hats at Moebius.
A little bit of everything.
How you doing?
Great, how are you?
Doing well. Now, I'm looking at the models you have here, and we've actually built some on the site. Tell me about the process of getting a license and designing a model for people to build at home.
Oh, wow. The licensing, that's really the toughest thing sometimes, trying to convince a studio that there's interest in something like Johnny Quest. People still want to see it, and it takes a little bit of work at times. But once the licensing is done, we try to start off with an established model builder. It's just shrinking it down, tooling, injection, and I could talk for days on that end of it, but it's a pretty simple process in a lot of ways.
I like that some things that you guys do is that you're building kits based on ships that on those shows, they actually use practical model kits. So it's not just purely turning a CG model into a model kit, you're paying tribute to the original model kits. So what references do you use for something like the flying sub? How do you design this?
The flying sub was actually kind of easy. Greg Nicotero had a copy of one of the original props. He had molded it, we got a copy of that, so we had access to what essentially was an original flying sub filming miniature. So to work from that, it was fairly easy. Like you mentioned, the CG stuff is so much simpler. You get a file from the studio, it's all done, but this, just to get those contours, to make it exactly, it's a lot of work. The skill involved, I could never do it myself. It's really quite a bit of work when you don't have something like an original prop to work with. Working from images on some things, it's just getting one of those guys with the eye for detail that can sculpt it and
then you're also sculpting to hide the seam lines, but also making a kit that someone can assemble, right? So how do you go about doing that?
That's more in software, surprisingly. The factory uses the same software that General Motors uses designing cars. It's more or less, they've got our original sculpt, it's scanned, it goes into the system there, the software cuts it all up, and there's so much more involved in the tool making with temperature, the flow of the tool. It's really such a huge engineering process that I really still scratch my head at times wondering how they get it to work the way they do. It's definitely an engineering problem.
Now, Frank, looking at your Interstellar, this Ranger scout ship, I see that there's two ships here. Can you tell me the difference?
Yes. Well, we really like the whole idea of the launch vehicle so much, but really to tool up a Saturn-sized rocket to put that on, we decided we'd go ahead and build just the nose cone to fit on the Revell kit. So when the kit's available, you'll get, of course, the Ranger standalone and a nose cone that'll fit on one of our competitors' kits.
I love that. It's like a mashup that you had planned up. So you don't have to build this, but you have the option, and you can build the Ranger, which is beautiful, but then also get this and then paint this up so it's one cohesive unit, which is kind of in the spirit of the movie, how they combine technologies.
That's it. We really just loved the way it looked, and it was the easiest way around for us, and I hope people like it as much as we do.
Now, if someone's just starting with model kit building, what would you recommend that they start with? What type of kit that you guys make?
Oh, really, for beginners, I would recommend something vehicular. We do a lot of figure kits, but the painting takes so much more skill. Something like this, the Johnny Quest, it's just a simple coat of white paint and a thin marker to fill the lines in. Almost anyone could build that kit. It's a lot of practice, and all I can say is don't give up. I mean, the first thing you do might not be perfect. When you look back at it years later, you'll probably get a chuckle, but it just takes time and practice for any of it.
And that's something we have a lot of fun doing with our fans and us on Tested. Thank you so much, Frank, for showing us some of your model kits that you have here at WonderCon. Moebius, you have a website where people can find your products?
Yes, it's www.moebiusmodels.com.
And you can find us on tested.com. I'm Norm here at WonderCon 2015. We'll see you later. Bye.